I try to backdash, but it hits me anyway. The hard tag gets the hit. Oh my god, Nappa 5S is ridiculous. Hey, it's been a while since we've done one of these videos where we play actual online matches, watch our footage, go into training mode, and then see what we can learn. The last time I did this, I just played with random people online, and it worked out pretty well. But as you can see, both myself and ApologyMan are having a really fun time learning Nappa. And we played the other night on his stream for a few hours, and I asked him if I could use some of those matches to review footage and kind of see how we can improve with the character and just kind of see what we can learn in general. We're all getting used to Season 3 right now. We're all getting used to new characters. I'm playing Nappa and Trunks basically for the first time. He's playing Nappa, Yamcha, and Bardock for the first time. So if you see us dropping some combos and missing some very obvious small things, just give us the benefit of the doubt. You know, we're brand new to the characters, or maybe blame netplay or something like that. Also, I don't want to misrepresent any set that I have with anyone, so I don't want it to seem like one of us is just beating the other person up. So I just randomly chose one match where each of us won. If you would like to see the full set, I highly encourage you to run over to his channel. It should still be up, archived on his stream for a while. He's actually been streaming a lot, and it's a really fun place just to hang out and see some really good Dragon Ball. So without any further ado, let's just get into this and watch some of this footage. I'm playing Kid Buu on point because I want one character I'm comfortable with. He's playing Piccolo on point because, I mean, obviously he's very well known for Piccolo. His Piccolo is amazing. Let's just see kind of how this goes. I don't remember who won which of these matches. Right away, I got him to block Nappa assist by using a Ki Blast, and then that locked him down enough for me to go for cross-up Ki Blast there. And I was able to convert it even though I wasn't at full meter, just because I only need half a bar for that EX move now. Oh, he went for the same side fake out on the left-right mix-up there, but because he was at like an awkward distance from the corner, it didn't seem like he could really pick it up. Or at the very least, he wasn't confident picking up that combo, so I was able to get out there. Oh, and right here, yeah, I'm a little too far from the corner to get that combo. That's exactly what I'm talking about, where we're so unfamiliar with the character, we haven't played enough matches. We're trying to find that spot where we know we're close enough to the corner to get the combo. Ooh, same thing there. I try to do auto combo there after the vanish, and you can kind of just swipe them on the third hit, smash them up, and get a good extension there. More corner carry, which would help me get the ender, but again, combo drop right there. We'll get better with that as time goes on. Now it's his turn with Nappa. He goes for the empty low, but it doesn't quite work there. And he goes for 6M and goes straight into armor right afterwards. That's super good because Nappa doesn't have a 7-frame move, but he can go straight into armor restand. I got so caught up talking about that, I wasn't even thinking about it. You can definitely see that kind of coming from a mile away. There's a specific setup Nappa will use for that. In this set, I think we restanded each other like 30 times. And it works almost every time. It's super good. It's hard to spark the restand in particular because it just does, oh boy, it dropped that combo too. A little too many hits on that. I kind of overestimated or underestimated what I had put into the combo beforehand. But yeah, the restand is so scary. He actually messes it up here, but I desperately spark anyway because I don't realize he messed it up. Even sparking the restand is just so tough. Cross up there. The window to spark it is just really small. And here I would love to swap to Trunks, but I just don't trust it that I'm going to be able to kill with 2 level 1s. So we go for the level 3, and now I have Kid Buu who's at pretty low health, so if he gets touched at all, he's just dead. So we're going to have a little bit of trouble trying to get him out here. I go straight for that Ki Blast into assist round start again, which has been working out really well, but he gets the spark out, and that is so good. So he called Yamcha assist and moved in front of him, and he kind of is doing that to protect Yamcha. So if I were to throw out a projectile, Piccolo would block it instead, Yamcha would still be out and be able to lock me down. But because I vanished behind him to try to save myself, I got kind of sandwiched between him. Did not work out. He picked that up really well with the 5L. And now we're back in neutral with Trunks. My Trunks needs a lot of work, I'll say that. That was so good. So he saw the projectile and just immediately reacted with the EX armored move. It teleports right up to me, and he gets the punish for it too. And I imagine we're gonna see some Orboki here. Oh, he doesn't go for it. Okay, just goes for basic meaty. Although he reflected the vanish there, I kind of got out of the situation, so I'm okay with it. And that was really nice there at the end. He saw me landing on the ground, about to land on the ground, and just meatied my landing frames and was able to take his turn. And I think I probably tried to double jump or something there, and that probably led to me getting hit. So really well done on that. All right, now let's move on to the second match we had here. So I said I picked one where each of us won, so clearly this is going to be the one where I got it. And he was also experimenting with Bardock on point. I know he feels a little bit like he's trying to figure out, is point Piccolo the way? Does he want Piccolo second? We'll see what happens there. He ended up blocking something in neutral, and he reflected the Nappa assist. And because he reflected it, he wasn't quite ready to block a cross-up. That's one of those situations where you don't really think about a mix-up coming right after you successfully reflect. That walk-under was amazing. I have a video on that, by the way. You should definitely check that out if you want to know what just happened there. He gets a Dragon Rush, and he's going to get a decent knockdown here. Go straight for Piccolo. He's not going to be able to set up Hellzone Grenade here. Doesn't quite have enough meter for it. Oh, what happened? Was that like a net play moment, or what? He just stood there. And I'm taking advantage of it like a jerk. I don't know. Alright, and then we go for the jab Dragon Rush. New to Season 3. We'll all get better at teching that as time goes on. And I think we're going to be able to two-touch here, because Kid Buu does entirely too much damage if you know the right combo. And yeah. Goodbye, Piccolo. Man, it's really unfortunate. I don't know why exactly he wasn't moving there. I imagine it was something to do with his stick or online or something. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. Go for the instant EX overhead there, but I didn't convert it right. I actually get to keep my smash after that. I could have taken him all the way to the corner, gotten a good knockdown. In fact, since I had all my assists available, I could have set up the relaunch, but I didn't quite go for it there. Oh, that combo's so fun. This character's sick. Get the knockdown. I think I bring in Kid Buu here, yep. And I don't really know if I agree with this decision, just because Kid Buu has the least amount of health, and his assist, I'm using his B assist, which actually feels pretty good here. So I think he's more valuable to me as a B assist, especially since it actually gives Trunks 50-50s. So we're going to take him back into the corner here. Nappa assist is just putting in so much work for me. And that situation, I want to talk about that later. I tried to bait Yamcha's EX uppercut, right? Oh, and he doesn't quite get the Dragon Rush there either. I missed the 2H just barely. So on that knockdown earlier, I jump at him, I autopilot the jump, autopilot the meaty, and then I realize at the last second, oh crap, I'm in the air. I have to bait this stupid EX anti-air. And I try to backdash, but it hits me anyway. The hard tag gets the hit. Oh my god, Nappa 5S is ridiculous. And here, I can't kill with the spark, but I realize I want to extend the combo a little bit more. I want to kill more of his sparking time, and I want to get a good knockdown at the same time. So usually I don't agree with sparking when it's not going to KO, but in this particular case, this was not the best call on my part. It looks super cool, but that's not very good. Yeah, that level 3. I did not think about him still being in sparking. I thought I wasted more time than I did. I thought his sparking had run out, which would have been a punish on the vanish there. But because he's still at spark, he could have blocked if he didn't backdash or hit a button or something. So I kind of lucked out there in the end. Those are a couple of matches. Again, if you want to see more ApologyMan or just want to watch that set, I played 18 Ginyu Frieza at some point. If you just want to see us having fun playing the game for a few hours, feel free to head on over to his stream, and it should be archived for a little while longer. I'll have a link to that in the description. All right, so now here's the part where we want to just figure out what can we learn from that set. So I was mostly focusing on commentating it, but there's a few things that still come to mind that I really want to focus on. So let's boot up training mode and see what we can figure out. I also took a little bit of time to write down some of the notes that we pointed out while we were watching those matches. I actually put them on a whiteboard here. I don't know if it shows up great, but I wrote down anything that came to mind that I remembered from running through those matches. We'll see how much of it we can go through here before we run out of time. But we have things like combo drops, things I noticed in neutral, Piccolo specific things that I want to lab, and then some Nappa specific things. So the first thing that came to mind is how there's some drops, some really important drop combos that we had with Nappa. You know, again, we're pretty new to the character, so a lot of this will just come with experience, but a really big one is that we tried to extend a combo like that when we weren't all the way in the corner. And you don't have to be all the way in the corner for it to work, like we're not in it right there, but it still worked anyway. So I think if we get a little bit better about just being conscious about that while we play more matches, that's a problem that'll kind of fix itself. Another problem I specifically was having is I was dropping a lot of combos after Vanish. So I would get the air hit with Nappa somehow, and I would want to get combo into auto combo. And the thing that's really nice about that is just that you get a lot of extra corner carry from it. So that could be really useful if we end up getting a hit like this and we optimize a little bit better. And we could go all the way to the corner this way. Pretty good. And I think my problem was I was trying to dash a little too far up before I did it. And if I dash too far, I can't get the auto combo to come out in time. So I think I want to move just a little bit forward so I'm close enough where the third hit won't whiff, but I don't want to dash so far that I'm too late. And again, that'll just come with practice. Also, Nappa's 2M is kind of slow, but it's really useful after Vanish because it'll let me do stuff like that to get a sliding knockdown and a little bit more corner carry. But because it's kind of slow, I'm messing it up a lot. I would try to time it like I would time it with other characters, and because it's so slow, I need to just remember that I need to use it a little bit sooner than I would with some other characters. And the last thing I want to really quickly touch on for me personally, so I can remember to optimize a little bit better in the future, is I used his EX overhead, which I think is really good, and I converted it with Kid Buu assist here, and I did a super dash, which if you're never sure how to combo something, super dash is kind of the go-to, and that's probably why I did it. But if we notice that we get the hit and we convert with our assist, we should be able to get to the corner, and we can probably go for the restand while we're at it if we have a second assist. That's a 50-50, and we can probably KO here if I'm not too bad. Seems good to me. This character's kind of cheap, not gonna lie. This character is pretty cheap. Anyway, I'm sure you don't want to just sit here and watch me optimize Nappa combos. And in fact, I don't really want to spend my time optimizing everything with him and blindly going into training mode and practicing those things. What I want to do is play my matches, find situations where I realize, you know, I'm not quite converting that right, or, you know, I could be converting that a little bit better, I could optimize that a little bit better, and it would make a big difference. And I want to prioritize those things that came up in matches, as opposed to just blindly going into training mode and trying to find like some 2H sparking combo right away, you know? Another thing that came up that ApologyMan was really smart for doing is he did overhead into armor, which, by the way, this is actually safe on block. So challenging this is really difficult. But in general, whenever you use an overhead, you're actually neutral on block. You can check that with the frame advantage that's on screen right there. It says we're 0, that means we're both even. And typically what people will do after blocking a 6M is they'll hit their fastest button possible and try to win the scramble afterwards. But since Nappa doesn't have a 6 frame, it makes a lot of sense to use the armor. So I want to lab really quick, how would I possibly beat this? What are the downsides to this? And it seems like jumping over it is difficult. If I super jump, I can get over it quick enough. Can I just hold up back? No, I can't just hold up back. Getting over it actually seems pretty tough. Is Dragon Rush fast enough to catch the armor? No. Okay, let's try just reflecting. Reflecting seems fine. I'm pretty sure we could punish him afterwards if we reflected away, but that's a really scary thing to do, I think. I want a lower risk option to beat this, so maybe we can cancel if we hit the armor. Yeah, we can definitely vanish. So I want to know if we have resources available, could we do something like cancel our buttons into a super maybe? So let's try level 1 first. And the answer is no. Let's try level 3. And we totally can. I don't know how realistic it is to catch this in time in a match, but I think if you practice it enough, it's probably okay. Could I just do one button and block? But that's not too good because I imagine he'll probably be able to build his assist back or use an assist to extend pressure afterwards. Let's actually try this with a different character too. Yeah, it seems pretty consistent where if you see that you end up absorbing something, you should be able to vanish and save yourself. Okay, so another thing that ApologyMan was doing that was really good is when he saw an instant air dash in the corner, he walked out of the corner on reaction. As I mentioned before, I had a whole video on this topic a while back where if you are actually reacting to the instant air dash, you can go under them and get basically a free punish on it. But what I want to talk about here is that you can actually do this in a way where you'll still be able to block even if the opponent goes under you. Because think about it, all you have to do is hold forward after you go past them, and if they go under you, now you're holding backwards, which is blocking, right? So if he were to do this again and hold down forward after landing, then if someone were to react and go under you, he'd be able to block. And that's actually what I did in the match earlier. I did get opened up like immediately afterwards, but it's better than just getting hit right away. So progress, you know, baby steps. Another pretty wacky thing that happened is Nappa Key Blast was just putting in mad work. So it was whiff punishing things. I think it actually clashed with Wolf Fang Fist at some point, and it ended up just hitting him right afterwards. So labbing it here, it seems like it'll go through me if it doesn't just beat me outright. But I think if we cancel into something else, we might be able to win afterwards, because I don't really think Yamcha's range is good enough to win in that far clash situation. So it might be worth it if I throw this out in this particular matchup to keep hitting buttons and see if I can get that to go somewhere. And I kind of just want to mess around with how good Nappa's Key Blast actually is. It seems like it actually reaches round start. I think it's a physical hit on the first part, so let's just have someone run up and do Super Dash, and if we can hit the Super Dash, we totally can. That's really good, that's really good. And it's really easy to convert. The corner carry and the damage you get from this just seems to be super good. Almost 5,000 damage, no meter spent, about 1.5 bars gained. It's pretty solid. Can we anti-air with it? Like, what if someone just like jumps around a lot, or they do like an air dash? Are we gonna get bodied every time? Seems like we're hitting it. Yeah, it seems like we hit it reasonably consistently. It definitely feels like a big commitment though. Like, there's a lot of recovery on this, so I wouldn't throw it out too much. But if you want to cover the ground, or you want to out-prioritize something, get good reward for it, it seems like a pretty good move. So it also seems to beat Key Blast property moves. So Trunks' 5S is actually not a beam, it's a Key Blast. His beam is his quarter circle forward S. So if I were to throw out my Key Blast, I set the bot to do a jump into 5S. So if I were to throw out a Key Blast, he just goes right through it, which is pretty ridiculous. I actually feel like I need to check something right now. Like, my very first thought was, can I possibly beat Broly Key Blast with this? And I think the answer's gotta be no, but I think it might. So let's just record Broly backdashing and chucking Key Blasts. And now we will play Nappa, and let's just see what happens. Oh my god, that's ridiculous. Can we combo from this? Oh, we traded that time, so it's not perfect, but it's better than getting hit, right? I think if we move a little closer... What? We can get a combo? Can we do this on reaction, actually? We totally can, but it doesn't seem great full screen. On reaction full screen, we end up losing. I think we want to be a little bit preemptive, or we want to be a little bit closer than full screen. So we'd probably want to like dash into this range and then chuck it, and then we're good to go. So what can we get from this? Okay, another thing I'm noticing is I don't want to delay the 5H afterwards. I want to just autopilot the 5H in this situation. Typically, if we get the hit, it seems like we want to delay the 5H so we get more corner carry. But in this specific situation, it seems like if we delay it, it's not going to work. So if we go right away into 5H, it's going to be fine. In fact, let's try to see how far away we can do it from. Pretty far. Let's see how we can maybe optimize this a little bit. Oh my gosh. Yep, restand. Although I messed up the combo there. But you generally get the idea. Yeah, this move seems good. I'm glad I looked into it a little bit more. So another situation that came up is he used Yamcha assist and dashed in front of it. And the thing that's really good about this is it makes it really difficult for me to hit them both, or to hit Yamcha at all. So if he moves in front of it and kind of blocks Yamcha, I can no longer throw a projectile and stop Yamcha from coming out. And then Yamcha is going to end up hitting me. And this works with a bunch of projectiles, pretty much any projectile assist you have. The general idea is you protect your assist and your assist protects you. As long as you are quick, you might be able to convert the hit. If I block, you could just run up and take your turn and get something going. And I think what I did is I ran up and I started to hit a button at the last second, like, oh shoot, I'm gonna get hit. I kind of saw the assist, I was about to do something, and I tried to save myself with Vanish at the last second, and it actually sandwiched me and let him get a full combo here. So that was a really good conversion on his part. That's nothing particularly new to me, but it's something I want to talk about because it's really good. It's a great way to use your assist, especially if you have a neutral assist. I know people who have GT Goku, Zamasu, Broly assist, any beam have been doing this for a long time because it's just really good. And in general, the best way to deal with it is kind of just to let it happen and try to just avoid it and wait out the neutral. And ideally, you're a little bit random about how you evade it. Sometimes let's move backwards, sometimes let's super dash maybe, sometimes let's just kind of move forward, float for a while, maybe we can just go straight past them. It kind of feels like one of the best ways to deal with this sort of thing where, yeah, there isn't really a punish for it, it's just calling an assist. But if we can get them to waste the assist, then now neutral is that much better for us. Because now we don't have to worry about that at all. We can kind of run in, use our assist to try to take our turn, and see what we can get going. So there were a lot of times where around start, neither of us really committed to using our assist right away, simply because we wanted the other person to use theirs first, so that we could have that kind of an advantage afterwards. Also, a lot of people seem to get kind of predictable when they throw out their assist in neutral. So if you kind of wait for their assist to come out and try to just play kind of lame, let it whiff, see if they take a risk, it might pay off for you. You know, worst case is you get them to waste their assist and neutral's that much better for you. So another thing I remember happening is he was using EX Chop as a way of punishing my beams on reaction. And I have a few questions about this. First of all, if it's a reaction to something that's common in neutral and it's a real punish, then that's great. So that's super smart on his part. And it seems like if I chuck my actual beam, it's definitely a punish. I was trying to block there. Is there anything I could do to save myself with Vanish? Oh, no, I can't. Wow, I actually, if I autopilot the Vanish, I still get hit. That is pretty neat. I can vanish late, but then I end up whiffing, and I have to imagine he might be able to either take his turn or just run right at me and try to anti-air me before I land. I don't know if he could actually get a punish, but whiffing a vanish this high up in the air just never feels good. I can't imagine that being okay. Alright, so the next thing is, if I don't use my actual beam, I can block. Okay, so that was just my Ki Blast. How negative is this on block? Is it actually punishable? It says it's -10. So that means I should be able to get like at least a 5L starter. And that seems to be the case. Good to know. We could probably also maybe like cancel into an anti-air or something. But I think this is just one of those situations where even though there are answers to what he's doing, I don't think reacting to EX Chop is going to be easy in a real match. It's probably borderline not realistic, because I'd have to really be thinking about it. Like, one of the things I was doing was Ki Blast into beam, and if I autopilot that, it's not going to work. It's just generally really quick, and obviously in training mode, I'm labbing, practicing against it. I know what's going to happen, but in a real match, try to think about whether you think in a real match you would be aware enough to do this, and if you could react fast enough to it. Maybe it's not as good as I think it is, but this seems like a pretty good option for him still. So another thing that was coming up throughout my entire set with ApologyMan was he would get a hit, DHC into Piccolo, uses level 3, and then go for Hellzone Grenade. And it seems like you would want to just reflect this, but you kind of still have to deal with the mix-up afterwards, as I found. During like Hellzone Grenade setups now, if it's not a real block string into it or anything like that, typically you'd want to go for Reflect and try to disrespect. I tried to jump there and I couldn't get it. So apparently there is a timing where you use Hellzone Grenade after level 3, and even if they reflect you, they kind of still have to just deal with the mix-up, because the mix-up is timed right after the reflect finishes recovering. If I try to do something, I get hit, and the gap isn't big enough for me to disrespect the high-low mix-up. And I don't really know if there's a good option here, but let's find out. So I want to see if I can hard tag. I tried hard tagging a bunch in matches after the reflect, but I wasn't able to really get it. I couldn't get it there. Yeah, you'd see I'm just mashing down an assist to try to swap the trunks. You might need a certain size gap to make it work. I'm not entirely sure. So it seems like if I do reflect, I'm gonna have to probably reflect again and then push him out afterwards. But this is really risky too, because if he goes for, you know, like just a Dragon Rush mix-up, or if he baits it out, I'm definitely done for. So it's not as good of an option as I thought it would be. This is one of those things where at first glance it seems kind of fake to just do level 3 into Hellzone, but it actually seems really good. And the thing I like about that is if he was playing, you know, I think on his team when he wasn't playing Piccolo point, he was playing Bardock point. He would get the hit, And if he had the meter, or Bardock's health was starting to get low, he would just end his combo and swap to Piccolo. And then he'd get a 50-50 with the Hell Zone, which was really good, so solid. And although this is one of those things where there isn't like a clear answer to the problem, it is important to understand how it works anyway. Not everything you lab is going to have like an easy answer to punish what they're doing. That's okay. Just knowing how scary of a thing this is useful to me, because I can recognize this situation and think, you know what, this kind of sucks. Let's spark. I don't want to deal with this. And if I can save my character and not have to flip a coin to lose my point character, I'd say it's worth it. This is a perfect time to spark. And the last thing that I remember was trying to punish Yamcha's EX anti-air move, right? This move has upper body invincibility, and it's really tough to punish. Let's set Yamcha to guard all, block it, and let's see, can we get the punish? This is really hard to hit, actually. So I think if you do block it, punishing it is, I don't want to say impossible, but dang, this is a crazy move. If you are in range for this, this is tough to punish. If you can punish it at all. Can we backdash out of range of it? And then whiff punishing it seems very tough. Whiff punishing it seems really tough. Whiff punishing it seems really tough. Oh my god, that punished the 5H. We can anti-air it after we see a whiff. But if we're a little bit too slow, I imagine our anti-air is going to get blocked, and we're going to have to be really quick about what we cancel into so we win the situation afterwards. Again, this seems like one of those things that doesn't have a clear answer to it, but that's okay. Recognize when something's really good, try to play around it the best you can. If you can't deal with it, then try to avoid it. So I think my game plan for dealing with this might just be, if I think he's going to tech on the ground, just meaty on the ground, and you should be able to hit it on startup. And then if he techs in the air, let's set him to ground recovery up. We should be able to just get a really quick sliding knockdown that way. If he techs it in the air, it's going to whiff, and we should be able to get an actual whiff punish on it. As long as he blocks it, punishing it seems pretty much impossible, but if we can make it whiff, that's totally fine. And this video is way longer than I meant for it to be, so I think I'm going to call it here. I'll try to do this sort of thing more often as we move forward. If you want to continue to learn Dragon Ball FighterZ and other fighting games with me, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And if you would like to watch me actually play the game, feel free to follow me over on Twitch or Twitter to see when I go live. There's more on the way soon. Thanks for watching.